You know, we're into making big announcements here in our Cafecito Tech Talk. This is a Cafecito Tech Talk on location.
On location.
Here with Dave Rubin from the Rubin podcast show and Assaf from locals.com. Assaf, I know you want to tell us about locals.com and its move to Miami. So tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah. So first, I'm moving to Miami
All right.
personally with my family.
Good start.
I came here 5 days ago, basically.
Amazing.
And I think for us, the reason that we want to move here, the business, is a lot of our investors are actually from Florida and from Miami.
That's right.
And the movement that you started to create, it's phenomenal, and it's something that really attract a lot of people to look into why we need to come here. So I decided to also bring my family here. Coming from a country, you know, Israel is also a country that was built by immigrants.
That's right.
I want to be in an environment where it's more energized to be. So far, that's what we see here. For us to local, it's a great segue to what we do with locals. So essentially, we build a subscription-based solution for content creators because we want to empower them to be independent. I think that Miami stands for freedom. Bitcoins are coming here. Tech people, we want to now help make Miami a hub for creators and empower them to be independent.
Well, you know, we're in a content-based world, and it's amazing how there's a democratization of this content, right? Like, people are choosing the things that they want to see, and it's so unbelievable. Dave, you've been so successful at creating this following in this podcast. I know you're next, by the way, coming to Miami. He's got a good smile. He puts on a good show.
I got to move all my guys. It's a
okay.
situation.
It's all right.
Yeah,
it won't be hard. Trust me.
Yeah, I know.
But the Israeli connection is really important. A, and B, you know, talk to us a little bit about how you view the Miami moment. And I call it a moment that we're turning into a movement. So talk to us a little bit about
it feels right. It just feels right. The fact that I'm sitting with a mayor who gets it.
Thank you.
I live in LA with Garcetti. This guy, I don't know what he gets. He gets something, but it's not anything. Like, the fact that you wanted to free this city, meaning you wanted the people to be free. You didn't say, I'm going to build all this stuff for you.
Right.
You said, I'm going to get out of the way enough so that you can build new tech,
yourself,
build new real estate. Like, everything's exploding here. And that's exactly what we're trying to do with creators. So with locals, we have a great video player, great audio player. You own all the content. We have live chat. We just debuted live video streaming from Miami yesterday.
Awesome.
We were sitting on it for a couple of weeks, but we wanted to do the first one from here. We'll do
Thank you for that.
We'll do one with you right after we end this real quick. But those things are not disconnected, meaning a government run by people who want to free people, and then tech that also wants to free people. That's the future. That's why the Bitcoiners are all down here. That's why, obviously, the escape from all the big tech stuff, it's going to be built here.
You know, it's funny because we're just talking about this sort of David and Goliath thing and the rate of disruption, right? I think those are two concepts that cities and people and many entrepreneurs haven't completely, totally understood. You guys obviously understand it. You understand you're making a product that is a service that what people want, right? And you know, these big companies, they're huge. I don't think they fully realize, just like some of these big cities don't fully realize that they can be disrupted out of existence like this.
Well, you know, it's funny, when I sat down with you the other way, when you were on my show a few minutes ago, you made the analogy of the ship, basically.
The cruise ship,
the cruise ship turning. And that's part of the issue, is that the big tech is basically like a cruise ship at the moment.
Yeah.
But I think locals and many of the companies that you're bringing here, they're going to be like small ships. And they will be able to do a lot of really interesting, fun, creative things without having this giant albatross of a system, basically, you know, making it that they can't move that much.
You know, what I see, and maybe I'm wrong about this, is it's a generational thing, right? You know, there was a generation of companies that came before us, created by people from the prior generation. And they're great, and they're companies that are investing in companies that are this generation companies. But I want to build this generation companies. So when you talk about content creation, when you talk about, you know, artificial intelligence and data, and you talk about all the things that the back end of some of this content, which is important, because if you're creating it, that's what sells. I mean, that's what's marketable. Explain a little bit about how your content creators benefit from being on your platform versus others.
Of course. So today, content creators, they build their audience on social media, but they don't own it. As you said, it's like their business. And today, the way that we look at content creators, those are entrepreneurs that are building small businesses. What differentiates locals compared to other solutions in the market is that we give full ownership for the creator over their data and their content.
Amazing.
And what differentiates us from other subscription-based solutions that we also build a community. And I think it's something very interesting to see the community that you build in Miami, and you see the power that it creates. We see it on an individual basis. Dave can tell you a lot of the investors that we got came from the Rubin Report community, for example, and every creator that is starting to build their community, that's the foundation for their business.
So think how cool that is, though. Our initial investors were just fans of mine. They were not even big accredited investors. They were just people like, hey, can you build something? Can you build something? And we were like, hey, let's build something.
But that's the new world that we live in. That's a democratization of the world that we live in. I can't tell you, I remember I tell you multiple stories from these Cafecito Tech Talks. You know, one of them was, I had a friend who did an app, a government tech app, and after him being on, I just tweeted about it. 4 VCs contacted him. You know what I mean? So we're living in a new world where, you know, people often ask me at the beginning, well, how are you going to recreate Silicon Valley overnight? You know what I mean? What's your Sand Hill Road? And I said, you know what my Sand Hill Road is? Twitter. That's my Sand Hill Road. That's because it is a virtual Sand Hill Road. People are virtually connecting in a physical location, and they can then collide, right? And we're starting to see the density of collisions here in Miami. What I can tell you is I've done over 150 of these Cafecito Tech Talks, and one of the pervasive themes is we meet more interesting people and collide with more interesting people here than we do in Silicon Valley. That's just crazy to think about.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a reason everybody's fleeing: high regulation, high taxes, high price house prices.
Absolutely.
And they're going to a place where the weather's great. It's a truly international city, and it fits what tech is. Tech is supposed to change things.
Absolutely.
So when you have a city changing things, and you've got a great mayor and a great governor, and it feels like even just 5 days here, I feel like, wow, I'm in a place that is aligned with my values, that has real meaning. Like, you can't put a price tag on that. It's like, it's a real feeling.
You know, and I think for me, the other thing is, and certainly locals.com really represents this as well, is we're going to be an epicenter for creation, right? An epicenter for creation of content, an epicenter for creation of companies, and I call it the capital of capital. It's a concept of being right in the middle of these 5 macro markets: New York, Silicon Valley, South America, Israel, and the Middle East, and Europe. And we're going to be the place that unites everybody. We're going to be the place where everybody feels comfortable, where the diversification is such where you can be here and have your family and feel welcome, feel safe, which is a big thing. You know, some of the things that we're seeing, unfortunately, in Israel, their safety is a concern. We go to New York, if you're Jewish, safety is a concern. It's sad. You know what I mean? You should never, your safety, your personal safety should never be at issue. You shouldn't have to focus on safety. You should be able to focus on building your company.
100%. And so far, I have to say, from the people that we met, they are very welcoming, very positive. And that's why I'm saying the feeling that I see around me, that's where I want my kids to grow up, basically. I want to give them this diversity, and that's what we stand for locals as well. We believe we should have diversity of opinion, and we should empower more and more people to be independent. So we really hope that we can help make Miami a movement for creators and bring some of the creators that are in LA, in Hollywood, to Miami as well, and empower them.
That's our next move, is to just replicate Hollywood here. Why is Hollywood in Hollywood? It actually doesn't make sense anymore.
It doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
So you just moved, family's here, office location, not yet.
Right? Not yet, and we are hiring.
Okay, great. You're hiring. Hey,
but
that's big, guys.
We heard you got some programs. If
we do have some programs for people that are looking for office space. So we're gonna talk about that offline and see if we can help you, give you that sort of concierge service that you deserve and that we want to give you. What stage are you in terms of growth and in terms of number of employees, and how many employees do you think you may be looking for?
Great. So we are definitely in a growth phase. We just completed our seed round, and we are looking to hire, I would say, definitely in the next 2 years, more than a dozen people here in Miami.
That's fantastic.
That we are looking. If people want to, by the way, check our job listing today, you can go to locals.com/jobs. And
Amazing.
we really hope to meet great people here and to help create the hub for creators in Miami.
I have a huge smile on my face because I realized I did for 11 years, I focused on trying to do things that were very positive, create affordable housing, create transportation that works for everyone. And on December 4th, like a light switch went on.
Yeah.
The light switch was every high paying job that I bring to this community or that I help bring to this community has I call that a tri-generational impact because it impacts the spouse and the person who have the job. It impacts the children and their educational opportunities. And if they're better educated, that's going to impact their children. So it's incredibly empowering to think of doing that. And I think other cities across America, they're going to get the memo eventually. It's going to happen because what's going to happen is they're going to see us continue to go like this. They're going to continue to go like this. And at some point, the people who they represent are going to say, "Whoa, what's going on here?
Yeah.
You know, how come they're doing so well and we're not doing well?"
Well, they're pushing out the creators.
Exactly. It happened.
That's not a good recipe, right?
It didn't work in Cuba. It didn't work in North Korea. It doesn't work in a lot of these countries because it hasn't worked in any country that I'm aware of. And I often say it's one of the biggest frauds perpetuated on humanity. So, guys, thank you so much for spending
Thank
this
you.
time. I
Awesome,
really
man.
appreciate you.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Thank
and
you.
we're here to help.
A mayor I respect. It's
Here to
wild.
help.
It's
Here to
wild.
help.
Love it.
Take care.